one particular in Fez when we were overlooking the city. It was extraordinary. Just how many different mosques that all fired up at the same time with their own prayer leaders. It was an amazing energy. Welcome to 10 Minute Travels. With me, as always, is Shane Patrick.
And with me, as always, is Phil Freeman. Today, we're going to talk about Morocco with special guest, Clay Bastion.
Let's get right to it, shall we?
But it is a different culture. On many of the hotels, there were very narrow and low steps that you had to walk. And I'm 6 foot, and I off my head several times. At the last night, I took the upper bed from my roommate, and it was about a 1 foot set of stairs, 1 foot wide, that went up probably 15 feet. And there was a little handle on the wall side and nothing on the other side. Don't see that in the United States very often.
No.
Yeah.
No.
That's definitely a scouting trip adventure. We will change that going forward to have a little bit more of a Western feel and no falling off the second bedroom.
And I like that.
You mentioned the mosques. Were there calls to prayer at 5 a.m. with the bells?
I think it was 4 or 5 times a day.
Yeah.
Particularly in the larger cities.
Yeah, not uncommon to see somebody rolling out a carpet and praying. And there, it definitely just around about the crack of dawn, even just before, all the way through till after sunset, you'd hear the prayer. And one particular in Fez when we were overlooking the city, it was extraordinary. Just how many different mosques that all fired up at the same time with their own prayer leaders. It was an amazing energy to feel.
So when you left, every little town have a courtyard? Like, was there a city center in every place that you went?
We had a variety. I would say we had some Western situations. We had some riads. We had a variety, so that every day seemed to be a little bit different. But there always seemed to be a pool. They like their water there when and if they can get it.
We also went through a very strange town, and they called it Little Switzerland. And it was a European-styled architecture. The king of Morocco has a palace there. All the streets are paved. There's curbs. There's no dirt. It was, I can't remember the name of the town, but it was something you definitely didn't expect to see.
Yeah, it was like clicking into another, just for a second, another country altogether. And then we're out of there.
What'd you think of the food, Clay?
The food for me was good, except for one day. And I fortunately, it was a 2-night stop. And on the first night, I was up most of the night in the toilet. But other than that, the food was really good. It was usually fresh and interesting. And in fact, on a street vendor, we had the best lamb sandwich I've ever had. And it was incredible.
Yeah, when I think of North Africa, I think of all the different spices and, end of the trade route stuff. So I imagine variety was easy to find there. Do you consider yourself a adventurous eater, Clay, or were you like at your comfort zone?
I'm more adventurous when I'm home than when I'm on a motorcycle trip.
Sure. Yeah.
Be healthy.
Yeah, the Moroccans, they love their tangines. And basically it's a clay pot, and what they'll do is they'll cook a protein, and they'll have a sauce in there, and it'll cook all the way till it's really pretty baked in. And chicken, lamb, beef, you'll get all those. They like their salads, which are fairly basic but very good. And they'll usually have them out. We usually ate family style, and most of the time the dinners were included with the accommodation. So you just sat down and you gave them the choice of what they had, and it would just show up. And it was nice that way.
And more often than not, when these meals were included with the hotels, it was beef. And in 2 weeks of riding through Morocco, I never saw any cows. So I don't know where that comes from.
Yeah, that's one of the mysteries when you're traveling.
Oh, another surprise. Morocco has a very good wine industry. And we had some very nice Cabernet style reds from Morocco that if I could get it here, I'd buy it.
Huh, who knew?
Yeah.
What about were there like in India they give you the little bowl at the end, breath freshener, palate cleanser thing? Do they have anything like that going on before, after the meal, or between courses there?
That I recall.
They did have salt on the table, pepper. You sometimes had to ask twice to get it. Olive oil was around, but they're definitely held on to it. And fresh, or they like to lead with bread as well. Of course, baguettes.
Was the bread, any of it that like the half fermented, like it's traditional Ethiopia, it's same, they have the same sort of thing going on there?
They did have a coarse ground type of bread. I think that's what you're talking about. It was very basic. Yeah, and it was everywhere. Ubiquitous.
Yeah. What was your worst day, Clay?
Well, it was probably the day I spent a lot of it trying to sleep on that 2-day stop at the desert. But I didn't miss going out on a 4x4 into the dunes. But some of the guys did it, and they thought it was good. But that was probably and it wasn't a bad day. It was just kind of a very slow day for me. I'd say the best was our time in Chefchaouen, which is the Blue City. Very artistic architecture and color, and lots of neat things to see. Lots of tourists also.
Did you guys get off the beaten path enough to be in places where you were the only out-of-towners?
I'd say so.
Say most of the places. And then we got in for a while there. We weren't seeing anybody, which was fun.
Yeah.
And then the hotels seemed to be the oasis, That's where everyone would come in. But when we were out on the road, not so much. And it was refreshing. Some days we didn't see many. Some days we did see many.
I'm trying to think of I guess it's Merzouga, which was the village at the edge of the Sahara. I think we were the only people staying at the hotel, and it was pretty good size. And we didn't see hardly any other people around there. It was very nice. And we got there late in the afternoon, and Rada had a team of camels that took us into the dunes, and it would not be a place we should ride on adventure bikes. And we got to see the sunset, and he brought beer out there to the dunes for us, and it was a special time.
Yeah, that sounds terrible. Morocco, special guest, Clay Bastion.
If you want to learn more about him or any of the other things we do at 10 Minute Travels, check us out at 10minutetravels.com.
And we want to remind you to make sure that your sense of humor matches your sense of adventure.
And please like, subscribe, and share this podcast on all the platforms.